You know, we don't do a ton of guests on this show. We have a lot of segments we do. We've got the big cut sheet, 3 people with microphones, so really no need for a guest on this type of morning show. But when you get big A-listers, you never turn them away. We had Donald Trump on last week, and now we are not only joined by the 45th president of the United States, Donald Trump, amidst all of his ongoing impeachment inquiries and investigations and trials and cases, but also the current president of the United States, the 46th president of the United States. And I'm not even sure he's aware that he's with us, but he is with us. Joe Biden is here as well this morning. But I want to start with Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump, good morning. It's great to have you back. And I'm just curious, your latest response and what's going through your mind with the newest gag order that was imposed upon you by Judge Tanya Chutkan, if you don't mind.
Well, the gag order is a disgrace, and it's great to be back in the city of brotherly love. And I understand that the Phillies, they're doing incredible in the NLCS. A lot better than the Eagles, who just lost to the Jets. That's not supposed to happen, but you did that, and that's not good. But you look at, and Fetterman, remember Fetterman? The Eagles are better than the Eagles. They should focus on being better than the Jets.
The Eagles!
That's an easy thing. But, this gag order is a disgrace. I have to say that. And there's a guy who sounds a lot like me, and he might have to do a lot of the talking. But I say the judge issued the wrong former president a gag order. She should have talked to Barack Obama. Just ask, there are things in his past life that we could talk about. And maybe he's into that type of thing. But that's not my type of thing. Never has been my, as they say, cup of tea.
Yeah.
So we have that.
God. President Trump, I'm just trying to stay composed here because I'm giggling like a little kid. You've also had strong remarks about the squad Dems. I've had my remarks about them as well. And I know you have elaborated on your platforms about the notorious PIG after their refusal to condemn Hamas. If you could elaborate on your stance with my audience, we would greatly appreciate that.
Well, you have Ilhan married her brother. Some people did something. That's piggy number 1. You have AOC, low IQ, and that's an insult to pigs, but that's piggy number 2. And then you have the king piggy. You have Rashida. I say Rashida. She looks like, you know who she looks like? Roz from Monsters Inc. Have you ever seen? Always watching you. Where's your paperwork, Wazowski? She wants to know where the paperwork is. Never going to find out. That is the notorious PIG. I call her Piggy Smalls. You know that? I call her Piggy Smalls. Piggy, piggy, piggy. Can't you see? You understand what I'm talking about? She's a terrible person. She's a terrible person. And I have to say, I apologize to the swine community, the pig community, for insulting you and comparing you to a terrorist sympathizer like Rashida. Michigan's got to do better than the notorious PIG. She's a terrible person. She's a disgrace, and she's hurting our country.
Mr. Trump, glad to have you on the show. I know your counterpart, Joe Biden, is chomping at the bit to get involved, so hang tight, 46. We'll get to you in a moment. But one more for 45 and hopefully for 47. How disgraceful is it that the GOP-led House won't vote for your candidate as my choice as well, Mr. Jim Jordan from Ohio?
Well, these people are smoking something stronger than whatever Hunter Biden gets his hands on. And maybe they visited the White House recently and got some of that cocaine or whatever the hell they're doing over there. But these people have to get their sugar honey iced tea together. They have to do it, because if they don't, our country's hurting. Our country's hurting. There are terrible things that are breaking out all across the world, and we need to fix it. We need to be there. We need to be leaders, not fighters. And when I say fighters, we're fighting with each other. We need to fight for our country and fight the Democrats instead of fighting with each other. People are voting for good people. I like Steve Scalise. I like Lee Zeldin. I like Kevin McCarthy, but they're good people, but they're not running. They are not running. We need to vote for Jim Jordan. He's a fighter. He's a great wrestler, fantastic person. And he will be a great Speaker of the House, the greatest speaker. He'll wield the gavel like nobody's ever wielded a gavel before, even better than the former Speaker, Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul, who knows his way around a hammer. I can tell you that.
That's a sin.
Donald J. Trump joining us here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. All right, Mr. President Joe Biden, you come on in here, sir. Mr. Biden, you have an incredible way of playing to the crowd and the home team. Could you tell us just a little bit about your upbringing in the Jewish community and your thoughts on the unrest in the Middle East as you have just returned from that area of the world?
Well, I got two words for you. Made in America. When I was a little boy, my daddy said, "Joey, we're gonna call you Jewish Joey." I was raised in synagogues in the Puerto Rican community. The house went on fire, and the rabbi took care of me. We lit the menorah. It was the 8 Crazy Nights, Adam Sandler, and so I was born there, Israel, home country. They say Scranton kid, but I'm actually from Jerusalem, and so I got hairy legs, and the kids, they rub my leg down in the pool, and watch the hair come back up again. Then we spun the dreidel. It was made of clay, and we had a great time. The terrorists are bad people. We're gonna keep giving them millions of dollars, and what happened?
Mr. President, can I ask why the rising of the voice and the tone and the voice inflection? I mean, sometimes you really seem like you're a corpse just out on your feet, and then all of a sudden you just elevate your voice and you start getting angry. Is that just where you are in your life, or are you doing that for effect?
Yeah. Where's Jackie? She's really great person.
Anyway,
don't.
Yes, don't jump. Mr. President, I know you talked about having the hairy legs there. I'm not sure if you're aware of the viral image that went viral on social media yesterday as you got done wrapping up your speech. A lot of people took a still photo of the tip of your chin. It looked like there was a couple of bumps on your chin. I don't see them now, so I'm wondering what exactly that was and where have those bumps gone now this morning?
Well, come on, Jack.
It's Nick.
We have a bump up on the chin. It's because the former guy called Rashida Tlaib the notorious PIG. So I say not by the hair on my chinny chin. And so we removed something. Now we have the chin. The leg bone is connected to the thigh bone. You chewing it out, shoving pressure.
The great Sean Farash is with us. He's Captain Deplorable. You can follow him on Twitter at Sean_Farash, and he's got a great show that he does as well. So Sean, let me just wrap it up. By the way, just great. Your Biden is phenomenal. I thought your Trump was impeccable.
Yeah.
Your Joe is just as good. But I know you do a show on a daily basis, so I just want to get your thoughts and reaction to what we saw yesterday in the offices of the Capitol with the storming of the pro-Hamas supporters.
Well, first of all, guys, thanks again. No one's ever asked me to do Biden before, so that was tough. It's hard to get into character. I had to go from someone I really like to someone I can't stand. So it was tough, but I'm glad you liked it. Yesterday was an insurrection. Hello, I mean they were in the. I sound like Herman Edwards. Hello, you play to win the game. Yesterday was an insurrection. It was clear they obstructed an official proceeding. They obstructed the House vote. They walked in there. They occupied it. There were arrests. Rashida Tlaib obviously spoke at the rally before the insurrection, a la our favorite president. That's what they say about Donald Trump. 22 years, I think, is the charge. We have Jamal Bowman, who I'm assuming should be getting charges for making up the excuse about pulling a fire alarm, which he thought would open a door. I've never seen that happen before. It's like he must be a magician or something. And then you have Rashida Tlaib coming out there, not just speaking at this rally, but repeating this lie about this hospital in Gaza that not only wasn't hit by Israel, it wasn't hit at all. The parking lot was hit.
Mm-hmm.
No, but there was not 500 casualties. So this is the narrative they use against Donald Trump, right? The big lie. Their accusation is the election was never stolen, and he said it was, and it incited violence. Well, this is a big lie, right? Rashida Tlaib tells these pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian supporters that a hospital was hit and 500 people were killed by Israel. Never happened. A parking lot was hit. Dozens of people lost their life, and it's still a tragedy. But that lie was used to incite violence and incite an insurrection at the Capitol. So I'm waiting for Jack Smith, Chutkin, and the rest of these goons to start levying indictments against the insurrectionists yesterday and start threatening them with 20 plus years in jail. Fair is fair. Equality is equality.
That's what I said a couple of hours ago.
By the way, we're streaming live right now on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Tuna Fang on YouTube says Trump could use Sean as to skirt the gag order.
Yes.
Meaning,
right.
Just have Sean.
Oh, yeah,
as
that's
Trump.
true.
Yes.
And he can say whatever he wants to.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
I say, Mr. President, right?
Yep.
If there's anything you can't say or anything you don't want to say, I've got you covered. You have like Allstate, you're in good hands. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Even when you're president, you want me to get on the phone? President G, listen to me, Winnie the Pooh. We're not going to do that, okay?
Winnie
We're not
the
going to do that. Winnie the Pooh is banned in China because President Xi looks like him.
Sean, last one for you. We mentioned, and I know I got your opinion in your Trump character about Jim Jordan, but 20 Republicans voted against him day one, 22 yesterday. Do you see this thing going back in the other direction, or is Jim Jordan dead man walking at this point?
I think Jordan will become speaker. He's probably gonna have to do what McCarthy did and make some concessions, which stinks for us. But I still think overall it's a net positive to have Jim Jordan as the Speaker of the House. I will say this, because you're in the Northeast up there, the station. I'm from New York. I'm from Long Island. My former congressman, I moved to Tennessee, but my former congressman is Andrew Garbarino. He just voted for Lee Zeldin, despite the fact that Lee Zeldin came out and publicly endorsed Jim Jordan. And then there's the guy who took Lee Zeldin's seat, Nick LaLota, who does not, I can't stress this enough. I want everyone who's listening to bomb this guy's phones today. He doesn't even live in the district that he represents, this guy LaLota. And he's out there saying, well, my constituents say, you don't even know your constituents. I know this guy. He's a fraud. He's a phony. The guy's disgusting. He's voting against Jim Jordan right now, holding this whole thing up, and doesn't even live in the district that he claims to be representing right now with this nonsense vote. It's a disaster, and there's a lot of other people like him, but I happen to personally know a lot about this guy, and he's a disgrace.
Sean Farash, you can follow him on Twitter at Sean, SHAWN _Farash, FARASH, and get all of his great impressions, as well as the links to all of his shows that he does. Always appreciate the time, pal. You're welcome back anytime you've got new material. We'll gladly give our audience a good laugh.
Thank you.